Hi Year 1, I'm going to talk you through your science learning for today. Now there's a science 1, which is this one, and there is a science 2, which you can do after if you want to, if you have time. However, if not, then you can do one of the experiments in half term if you'd like to. So one is about the bridges and continuing on from that, and then one is about magnets. Okay, so this one's following on from last week, talk about bridges, and the next one is about magnets. So you can do both if you have time, or if you want to save one and do one of the experiments in your half term, then feel free, okay? So the mission objectives are to know how to test materials for their strength and to understand that some materials are natural and some are man-made, okay? So your rocket words, again, you're recapping, so suspension bridge, cable, man-made material, natural material, and bamboo fibre, okay? And then you're going to perform simple tests as your scientific skill. So let's take a look here at the picture. Which materials or objects are man-made and which ones are natural? So looking at those objects, okay, thinking about the lamppost, the building, the glass, the water fountain, the pavement, the hedges, the trees, which are man-made, which means we've created them, we've made them, and which are grown naturally. So, okay, have a little think, pause, and then write down. Again, you can do a Venn diagram, man-made, natural, sort them, do a table, however you'd like to record is absolutely fine. I'll just talk about it. So here are your keywords. So hopefully you have more of an understanding at the end of this, or you're able to talk a bit more about them. So a suspension bridge is a type of bridge in which the deck is hung below suspension cables. So basically the bridge, the actual bridge, which is the road normally, okay? A cable is a thick rope of wire used for making things, which we use for bridges. Man-made material is a material that is manufactured through human efforts, so we create it. Then you've got a natural material, which can be obtained or made from living things. So a natural material is like a tree, okay? It grows naturally. Bamboo fibre is fibre taken from bamboo plants. Okay, so there's some of the words and meanings for today. So some of you may have started to test some materials by building a beam bridge. Now we're going to look at this from other amazing bridges around the world. So there's some different bridges here from around the world that look very different to the bridges that we see, and they're created in that way because they look nice. It's to see beautiful views of places. So here's this one's in England, it's a garden bridge, which goes over water. We've got one here, which is the Gateshead Millennium Bridge as well, which is in our country in England, so linking to your geography. This bridge is in China, which is a very unusual type of bridge. This bridge here is in Singapore, and they're all designed in different ways, okay? They all look different, and often they're created that way so they fit in with what the surrounding area looks like. So it fits into nature, or it has a particular theme. So this one again is in Singapore, and it fits in really nicely. Okay. Another one here. So they're all very different, built in different ways, and they're created in that way to look nice, to be attractive, but also to complement what it nice for in the area that it's built. So there's some very unusual ones there. So have you heard of a suspension bridge? Hopefully you have, because we looked at that last week. So these have really tall towers, like the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Okay, so just the tall bits there that go up really high. There are long metal cables between the towers and the rest of the bridge, and these hold the bridge up. Okay, these cables. The Chinese built the first suspension bridge in 300 AD, so that's a very long time ago. But basically, the Chinese were the first people to create a suspension bridge. So the Chinese used twisted bamboo fibre rather than the steel cables that are found on modern suspension bridges. So they used what they had then. So back then they used twisted bamboo fibres instead of steel. Okay, and that's a natural material. Modern bridges now, they use steel and other materials rather than bamboo. So discuss the main differences between natural and man-made materials with your talk partner. You don't need to do that. So whoever you want to talk to at home, so you can just pause it, have a talk, and discuss the main differences between natural and man-made. Okay, so bamboo is a plant, okay, that grows. And so the twisted cable used for the Chinese suspense bridges were made of natural materials. So the bamboo is natural. The steel cables used in our more modern suspense bridges are made of metal. Okay, steel is a type of metal. Okay, and that material is made by us, by humans. So it's man-made. Okay, because we create it, we make it. So steel is very strong. It is stronger than bamboo. Okay, and it can create a strong. So it's stronger than bamboo, so that's why it's used more for bridges now, and especially if there's things like cars traveling over a bridge or it's a bigger bridge with lots of weight. Okay, so discuss here the advantages and the disadvantages. So the advantages are what's good about it, and the disadvantages are what's not so good of each material. So of your steel and of bamboo. And again, you can do that in a table, record it however you like. Okay, and pause here to do that. Great. See Okay, so can you say what they are? So, what is the natural materials it is made of, and what are the man-made materials it is made of? Have you to think. Hopefully, you thought about it because you can see the wood. Okay, which is so. Think scientifically. What questions can you ask to work out whether an object is man-made or natural? And the other question is, what tests could you carry out on a material which would help you work out its strength, how strong it is? Again, pause here, think of some ideas, write them down or discuss them. So here is a video all about bridges. So they've got some bridges they've built out of Lego here, and it's about bridge design. So he's talking about different materials and how they can be used for certain structures. So with bridges, he said there's lots of different things that you have to consider. So he's got two bridges here, Lego, not of Lego, sorry, it's not Lego, it's K'NEX. So he's saying what you need for a particular type of bridge. So if it's for vehicles, what you need to use and how it needs to be shaped, and if it's used for people or animals, what materials you would need to use. And he's talking about the weight, of something that's going across it. So how it's built, so the structures underneath, the how it's built on the top, on the different bits. So they've got to be useful, got to be about the weight, here it's carrying. So the design is just as important as the actual building. So you've really got to think before you build or create something. So your mission and assignment is to use materials, recycled materials, anything you find around your home, and see if you can build a strong bridge. And you're going to test the strength of your big bridges. So there are some sheets on there to support you that I've created here. Okay, and they've used some objects that you should be able to find around your home. So there should be cardboard, straws, and pipe cleaners. Now, if you haven't got those, you might have different objects you can use. So choose your own objects. You don't have to choose these. These are just examples that I've used that we're going to use at school. And then you are going, the way they are testing it, or they've suggested to test it, is to use weights. Now, might not have weights at home, but there might be an object that you can use to test on it. You might put so many coins. You could use coins and see how many coins you put on there till it breaks, and then add that up and see how much weight it can take. You might measure it with how many Lego people you put on there till it breaks, or it could be that you put some shoes on it, or some toy cars until it breaks. Okay, so just use objects that you can around your home. Be creative as always to choose what you're going to make your bridge out of. So it doesn't have to be cardboard, straws, or pipe cleaners. You can again be creative, use recycled objects, and then use something to weigh it so it's a fair test. So you might put on shoes or trainers and how many till it breaks. And then obviously your strongest one will be the bridge that can take the most weight. Okay. So they're just discussing about different types of bridges and what would go over your bridge. So thinking about your shape. Is it flat? Is it curved? And they've got some objects there. So they say continue playing to find out what happens. They're going to use some cups, and then they're going to use some different materials. They're using some sellotape to attach them. So they've got tin foil there, which is another option if you've got that at home, or greaseproof paper, just normal paper. And he's wrapped his up in a slightly different way to create his bridge. So there you go. They've created two different types of bridges. They're different shapes. They've used different materials, and they've created them in different ways. And then they've got some weights that they're going to test. Okay, so they can see which is the best bridge. By that, they mean which is the strongest bridge. So they're going to use the weights there. They're going to watch you testing them. So they're hanging the weights on to see how long till it breaks. It's starting to wobble a little bit. Still holding up. Keep adding away. See how long he's very happy. And then that's next. It's just about holding up. Okay. So that gives you some ideas how you can build your bridge. She doesn't look funny because her throat. So this is Paul's bridge is the strongest and it takes the most weight. And they said it's for the design. So you really think about it. You might want to change it and adapt your design, but that will really support you. And he's made it shorter, it's leather, and he's made it stronger by using things to secure it. So it's made of sellotape, the cups. Okay, so think about those things to make it stable. And you can create more than one. You could try a few. Okay, so take your time with this. That's why I said you might want to do this one possibly over the half term if you want to. So your task is design and make your own bridge out of a range of materials, which is best, which is strongest, and then perform a simple test to see which is stronger. So you need to do at least 2 bridges. Okay, so why are some materials better than others? And then you've got your keywords again if you need to recap those. And then what jobs involve working on bridges, and discuss how you would feel working on a bridge, because some of them could be very high. Okay, so thank you for your learning, joining me for your learning today. Enjoy the science, and like I said, choose the 2 that you would like to do your activities. So you can do this one first or the other one, see what you have time for, or save one for half term. There's also another sheet here about man-made and natural objects as well. So I'll put those sheets on there for you to have a try. And I'll even attach this one as well, which is just an investigation sheet to help you if you want to plan out your experiments with a table and stuff on there. Okay, enjoy.